And we're back with another episode of Before You Buy, that show where we give you some straight up gameplay and our first impressions of the latest games releasing. As usual, it's me, Jake, and today we're talking about Mindseye. This is a game from new studio Build a Rocket Boy, grabbing some headlines and attention for being directed by a former Rockstar head behind the early Grand Theft Auto games. We were really curious about this one, and kind of looking forward to seeing what it was all about. Frankly, we were rooting for it. Review codes didn't go out, so we just bought the game, and here it is. So just so you know, this footage you see here was captured running on PS5 Pro, and this video is spoiler free. Now, right up front, just know that you're getting the rare negative Jake in this one, man. Mindseye is not good, and unfortunately, just feels like a waste of time. It's dull, it's uninspired, it's messy, and it's short. And it's $60 US. Mindseye is a single-player linear action-adventure game. Look, something I tend to endorse and enjoy pretty frequently, but I can't recommend this game. Not because of the bugs and the glitches or performance, maybe stuff you've seen online, but just because it's an undercooked, rushed game with no real life to it. And that pains me to say for a multitude of reasons, right? Number one, on the surface, I thought this game looked kind of cool. Number two, I love single-player action-adventure games. Linear, non-linear, whatever. And I don't even mind if they're short, as long as they're good. But Mindseye falters on a lot of fronts. Anyway, what is this game? So in it, you play as Jacob Diaz, a former soldier field drone operator in the near future who finds himself in fictional Red Rock City, looking for answers after he was discharged and missing some of his memories. Now, this city is essentially based on Las Vegas, and it's absolutely the highlight of the game, to start with a positive. Like, it can be pretty gorgeous here. Despite being fictionalized and, yes, futuristic, it really captures the feel of real-world Las Vegas. Not just the glitzy casino strip, there's more to it than that, the real rest of it, the Americana. It's nice looking, and it just feels like a good, unique game setting and a potentially good playground. The city just serves as a backdrop, though, as this is not an open-world adventure. Think more like the earlier Mafia games, where it's something you can drive around in and explore, but it's a setting more than anything. And that's fine, I don't mind. But the story the game tries to tell in this world is what I found to be, frankly, pretty boring. The game essentially has you driving from A to B, getting out of your car, shooting some things, or clicking on something and heading to the next. These are occasionally broken up by optional side missions and the occasional minigame, or stealth sequence, or chase, or a few other surprises. The main crux, though, is the third-person shooting, which unfortunately just falls flat. You get a handful of weapons throughout the game, and most of them feel really soft. None of them are really exciting, and the feedback just isn't there. Like, the hits feel unsatisfying, and all the guns just sound muted and lack any real punch. This is just a boilerplate, simple third-person shooting system that just feels really outdated. It feels like an older game with clunky movement and this really simplistic cover system that almost feels pre-Gears of War. There's also no dodge roll or melee. There's not any grenades or fun tricks or anything. Just a little drone guy you can pilot around. You can have it hover around you to stun or hack enemies, and you can also just jump into it and control it via first-person view at any point, which is technically impressive and kind of cool. But the game, like with a lot of things in this game, like, it just doesn't really ever come up with any better ideas for using it, other than just unlock a door. That's it. It just feels like wasted potential. And with this and all the tech future stuff they got going on, it just kind of makes the game feel like Watch Dogs, but bad. Enemies are incredibly dull. Sometimes they just don't do anything, or they take way too long to actually respond to you. Like, there's such a delay. I've stared enemies like right in the face, right in front of me, and sometimes they just didn't do anything while I stood there and reloaded. Others just blindly run right towards you. There's not really a lot of variety here, or shakeups to challenge you or think differently in combat. Just mindless, simple shooting against humans and robots. There are some cool animations here and there, but like ultimately, it's not impressive or engaging at all. Driving, at least, feels pretty solid. Now, because it's a story-focused game, while you can mostly get out of the car whenever you want, you're relegated to sticking with the car you have in the story currently, for the most part. And frustratingly, the game just takes a long time to actually give you something fast. It's kind of baffling. But when you are driving fast, drifting around corners and dodging some surprisingly dense traffic actually feels pretty good. Where this tends to fall apart is just kind of the way the environment is, like how it's designed. I've hit some things like a little tiny outcropping, like a little rock off-road, or maybe clip a weird curb that would just cause my car to completely stop. I've also popped a curb and flown into an area that I just couldn't drive my way out of. This happened to me quite a bit. Like I could get out of my car and like walk out of it or climb a fence to get out of it, but no way to get my car out of that or like spawn a new one or anything. Like unless I just couldn't find it, it seems like the game has no way of compensating for this, meaning I had to quit and restart at a checkpoint quite a few times. It's little things like this, just little tiny things that sound small, but like it just adds up to make a game feel slapped together, like a slapdash product, all these little things that they didn't account for that you take for granted in games, like actually just driving past who you're supposed to be chasing because they're just slow or their AI is so bad that they're constantly crashing. There is one good chase during a sandstorm, I'll say, that I really liked, but unfortunately the rest of it just falls short. The driving, it's just really interesting because it feels extremely padded, like extended out, stretched out. This is a short game for $60. It'll probably take you around 7 or 8 hours, but a lot of it is just driving with no music or anything. Occasionally just an annoying character dialogue that sounds AI written. Objectives are often completely on the other side of the map for seemingly no reason. And then after the mission, the game has a habit of making you drive all the way back just for another cutscene to be told to drive again for another silent 4 minutes straight. And I say this because the game's GPS actually shows an estimated drive time, like real life. So you can actually just see the number of minutes the game is really just trying to drag things out. And again, this is a linear story game, so you're not getting out of your car and doing stuff, just for fun, like diversions, and that's fine. Plenty of games do this, and I don't care. But this game, really, in particular, just has the bare minimum. Like you can shoot pedestrians with no recourse, unless you're in the factory, and then you get in trouble for some reason. But like NPCs will run towards you when you shoot them. Cops never show up. It's nothing really. It's not even the bare minimum. There are occasional side missions you'll find, like right when you're on the main path, they pop up, and these are puzzling. They're just random events. Now, it's explained technically why in the story, sort of, but really, they're just like little challenges, like anything from 2 minutes to 10 minutes that you just warp into. Like, say, a shootout or a robot security camera minigame, like a desert soldier shootout encounter, maybe a criminal shootout with some cops and an escape. But all of it just feels like so randomly generated. I don't know what the point of these are. These are made by the developers and labeled as so when you load into them, implying that players will create more of these experiences, but for now, what's here, I don't know, man. And then there's the performance, of course, which you can see on screen here, and probably judged for yourself already. Man, this is running on a PS5 Pro, and this thing is like struggling to hit 30 frames per second. It is dipping all over the place, and it is not a pleasant experience. It just feels poorly, painfully unoptimized. And I'm just talking about the console experience. I don't know about running it on PC. I can only talk to my experience. And it's not very enjoyable. It's stuttery, it's weird. It also has occasional screen tearing that just does not look good, and some visual glitches. You've probably seen the memes going around online of like messed up faces that are kind of reminiscent of early Cyberpunk or, Assassin's Creed Unity. I haven't seen anything that bad except for like 1 or 2 occasions. An NPC on the sidewalk completely wigged out and like stretched everywhere like Mr. Fantastic when I hit him. Random objects would just appear and spawn out of nowhere. Also, during a cutscene, I did see a character looking at something and pointing at something on a computer screen, and the computer screen just didn't load. Like there was nothing. They were pointing at nothing. There's little weird things like this, like textures that just look extremely low resolution, flickery lighting, and flickering halos around characters. It just generally kind of looks unpleasant, which again is a bummer because like this is Unreal Engine 5, and at times, and especially like if you just look at a screenshot or when the game does manage to stay at a pretty solid frame rate, the game can look pretty decent. But most of the time, like performance wise, again, like a lot of things with this game, it just feels undercooked and rushed. I can forgive a lot of stuff if it's a thrill ride or an entertaining story, but unfortunately, this game doesn't have any of that. I'm not compelled with some incredible action sequences or a really thought-provoking story. Ultimately, Mindseye just feels really, really generic. Nothing, unfortunately, really surprised me throughout, and it pains me to say that. This might seem like a rare take or like a hot take, but like I want all video games to be good. But Mindseye really just felt like it was made out of obligation really quickly. It just felt like something is completely missing here, like a reason for why it exists other than just, you know, to get you to buy something and get you to play for a little while. And that's unfortunate because like I said, we were looking forward to this one, just like looking at the studio and hearing it form up and the whole Everywhere project. We just wanted to see where it would go, but this is not really a good first debut. But this is a before you buy. You know how this goes by now. I'll give you some pros, some cons, and some personal opinion. And now I want to hear yours down in the comments. Look, you know, there's always the outlier. Some people might enjoy this, so let me know where you're at. If you just like watched a YouTube video and judged it on that alone, that's fine. But hey, thanks for listening to me. I played through this damn thing for you guys. If you get that, if you appreciate that, clicking the like button does help. But again, just let us know in the comments what you're thinking about this game, other linear, you know, third-person open world weird games like this. Let's talk anything like that, anything Mindseye down in the comments. But that's all we got for you today. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.
They must be responsible. Any luck on the coordinates for that other hacker?
We're still working on it. Troll, find me that location, now!
I'm glad you ain't talking to me like that, Rigby.